Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome everybody to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, and it is Friday Fun Day. A little bit soggy, but that's not going to dampen our spirits. We love it here. 10 Palms, Gulfstream Park. We're going to have Joe Beja drop by later and tell us about all the goings on here. The next few weeks is going to be action-packed, even though it's summertime. Jeff Devo DeForest licking his wounds from an opening race and a tip that turned out to be, what, not so hot? I'm not hearing.
Yeah, anytime you can run dead last.
That's a
the
good
tip
day.
horse, that's good. And then, of course, the hunch horse was in honor of the lovely Kim Ruddy and Tim Ruddy, Emmett running in the first race. And I was thinking if Kim's sitting here, you know she's plunging on Emmett.
I tried to get in on it, and I got shut out.
7-1, comes up last strides and wins the race. So
what did he go off at, by the way?
7-1.
Holy!
Yeah.
7-1, and both of you
I missed it because Lubie was hitting me up with.
Oh, you're blaming Lubie? Get out of here.
Yeah, well, he had a bogus
You're
email
so bad. You're so
about a student
Oh,
loan.
that was right when you were doing that?
Right when
Oh,
I
I'm
was trying to
sorry.
get in on Emmett. I was like, oh, I like the 8. 7-1. All right, that's it. I'm doomed for the rest of the day.
7-1 with bombs away underneath, I believe. It's like, oh my God, 12-1 and 24-1.
But meanwhile, there's no such thing as a losing day at 10 Palms, especially when we're here and they're just bestowing us with this beautiful feast. We got sushi. We got some of the new dishes here. This beautiful chicken Milanese, crispy, crunchy on the outside with this perfectly cooked angel hair pasta too. You know me and angel hair. It's one of those tricky pastas, but when you get it right, oh, it's good. And I don't know if you're going to get in on this. Actually,
no, I'm going to leave that to you, Mike. Man, I don't want to contaminate anybody else's food.
How are you feeling, by the way?
I feel fine, but it's still lingering.
You seem a little bit down.
I'm okay. No, I'm just waiting for you to get into the show here.
No, I'm into the show,
Okay,
and I actually have like a topic at hand to broach at the beginning. The Olympics is concluding on Sunday, and I'm a little bit sad because a lot of people have been watching it. The ratings have been gangbusters. I don't know if it's just Snoop Dogg or all the gripping stories. There've been great races on the track, but as I started to watch the. I guess it's the septathlon.
Heptathlon.
No, there's a men's heptathlon, but there's a ladies' septathlon. 7 events.
Oh, they only go 7? Yeah.
I don't know have they ditched the decathlon? Is it just not?
I thought that the decathlon was a staple of.
Isn't that the thing Ken made fun
track and
of?
field,
Was
yeah,
it the decathlon?
Well, he was making fun, I think, of the heptathlon, which is a men's 5 event. I don't know what they're doing. There's so many different things now. All I know is that there's a USA woman who is sitting in 3rd after the first day of the septathlon, which is 7 events and a variety of hurdles and sprints and long jump and high jump and all that stuff. But it got me thinking, Defo, since we're here at Gulfstream and it's a Degenerate Friday, I was imagining I would love to put together the Degenerate Septathlon and
Degenerate Olympics,
and the Degenerate Olympics.
Yep.
But if you did a septathlon, what 7 events would you include? Because I have a list here, and let's see if we coincide of the 7 events in the Degenerate Septathlon.
Oh, God.
You're going to have to get me going on this one. I'm not sure where you're going with that.
Well, I'm starting with horses because we're
All
here
right.
at 10 Palms, right?
Yeah.
Then we go into poker, which is
Oh,
one of
okay.
my
You can do that.
favorites.
Yeah, you
Different
go into
things
the
you can be a
casino.
degenerate
Sure.
on.
Yeah, that's number 2. Number 3, craps.
Well, you have to have slots. That's as
Well,
degenerate
that's
as it
number
gets.
4. But craps, since you guys were talking about this morning, and I got to confess, I'm one of those guys
Do you
that
understand how it works?
I've watched it a million times. I have friends and relatives who I've stood next to when they're rolling the dice. I have never
still don't know?
wagered at a
Still-
craps table.
Oh, no?
Come, don't come. I feel like I'm having the internal dialogue of when I'm having sex. It's just like
God.
you're a craps player though. You like it?
I enjoy the game. No, it's fantastic.
Point.
Once you understand it a little bit, it doesn't take much. It looks very intimidating at first. Everybody's yelling and screaming, and you don't know why. And then they're taking your money arbitrarily, and you're thinking, "Wait a minute, how come I lost there?" But once you understand the principle of it, it's a great game.
Do you like to roll the dice, or do you like to be the spectator and just betting on?
There's pressure on the
rolls?
roller. Sometimes you're feeling it. You don't want to be one of those rollers that establishes a point, and the next roll's a 7, and then everybody looks at you like you're an ass.
That's my fear, like being the last guy at the blackjack table when like you're the one who is like you make a bad hit, and then everybody looks at you and the dealer, doesn't bust and draws to 21 because you made a stupid play. And
look, if you're rolling, it's arbitrary. People do all these gyrations and conniptions and all kinds of crazy stuff. The way they align the dice and they tap them and they do this and they throw them in the air and they come out of their butt. And the truth is, when you're rolling, it's arbitrary. It could be a 7 just as easily as it could be the number that you need.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny.
In the day and age of COVID,
you can tell though. You can look at a guy at a craps table and say that man has never made a point in his life. So I'm either staying out of this one or I'm betting against him.
In the day and age of COVID, is it considered bad etiquette to blow on the dice?
No.
Like, is it like the way we couldn't blow out birthday cakes and candles
Whatever.
during those years?
I don't think so.
We're back.
Those aren't considerations of a degenerate.
No,
Yeah.
again,
Some
you
things
hung
you're
out
lucky,
at a
Kate.
casino environment all last weekend, and you came out perfectly fine. So that's all.
Yeah, but whatever. Hey, came out equal or up, so that is coming out.
No,
perfectly
I'm talking
fine.
about
We gotta
his
get-
health condition.
I know,
Because
but
anytime you
it
sit
is
at
what
a
it is.
poker table,
But that could have been from anywhere.
I
You
know.
never
Oh,
know.
that sounds like a rationalization.
Oh, really?
You
Good.
never know.
Yeah.
No,
It is what
look,
it is.
How do you know?
No,
I mean, how can you tell? It's like,
Yeah, you
you
never
got
know.
me sick. You don't
I hate when
know.
people do that. You don't know.
So stupid.
well,
It is fun,
Unfortunately, I did lose one of my cousins to COVID at that Jinx poker game they
Oh,
had,
God.
where 4 of them died and 3 of them ended up in
Jesus.
the hospital, and it was
Oh,
a national
God.
news story.
Oh, really?
Rest in peace, cousin
God.
Marcy. She was
Of course.
91. So,
Oh, good
but
for her.
anyway, it's always good to take into consideration, public health
There you go.
advice.
Somehow
But now we
you
got.
always end up on death.
Yeah,
what is that
You
with
really
you,
do.
man?
Because I'm
You-
slightly fatalistic
you
the
have
way
an
I'm
obsession
running.
with death.
All right. Oh, but getting back to craps.
you want to see death? Look at the 2 ball with Luca Panici, race 1. Thank you, Francesco, for telling me he loves the tapita.
Exactly.
Oh man! Hey, so the other thing that gets me a little bit nervous about craps is like, you ever have that anxiety dream where you're like throwing out the first pitch and your arm just goes totally like limp and the ball just like goes flying up? Like that's how I imagine if I ever had to roll the dice,
Oh,
that
you've never even
I would
done
just
it.
like toss them and they would go right
Fly
up and
everywhere.
over the table.
People don't care. Yeah, it'll be all right. They bring them back. It's all good. My favorite time ever shooting craps, I went out on one of those cruise to nowhere boats. It was a new one out of Miami. We were doing some advertising for them, and I brought a bunch of guys with me called the Dice SWAT team. And these guys were serious craps players. I had 2 tables working on a boat, and it just started sailing like it was in their first week of existence. And sure enough, the one table's ice cold. I mean, I'll never forget Dave Gurgly can attest to this. He's at the cold table. I roll in a little bit late and get in on a roll. Lady holds the dice from the time the ship left the dock and they open up the wagering for the next 45 minutes. Everybody's got the whole shoe full of money.
Oh God.
It ended up the Dice SWAT team, very sharp and heavy players. They ended up taking the boat down for $60,000 that night.
And then they sank the boat.
And you know how, pretty much. I mean,
That go.
you know how when you left those cruise boats, those cruise to nowhere boats,
Yeah, Gus
they would have the
Boulis.
people all saying, "Hey, thank you so much for coming."
Yeah.
Ashen white faces as these guys left the boat.
They knew they were
buried
doomed.
them. That was it. They weren't out of
Was it a
business.
Gus Boulis boat? And then he
No,
met
it wasn't Boulos.
He met his
but
maker.
Devo did other stuff. With
I
this
have
time.
another story on the Boulos boat, but this one. They literally took them down. I mean, if you're hot, if you get somebody with a hot roll, they roll the dice for 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
You're making cash. if
That's
you're at the table.
another one of my
Yeah.
cousins, Glenn. Cousin Glenn loves going to Vegas or AC and playing craps. He says when you get those hot rolls, you can
Yep.
turn 500 into like 10,000. And that's a feeling I've never known. I don't have that kind of luck.
Short
Instead,
period of time, you can make a lot of money.
I'm the kind of guy that has kings cracked twice in a poker tournament, which happened to me the other day. So anyway, enough
Those
of my
hot
sob
rolls
stories.
are not as frequent as you would like them to be. Let's
Yeah,
put it that
exactly.
way.
So, all right. So again, the degenerate septathlon: horses, poker, craps, slots. Then, of course, we have blackjack.
Used to
and
have highlight, be
Oh,
able to go
highlight.
somewhere else
Holy
and do
crap.
a highlight in the dog.
I'm
And the
saying
dog track.
dogs are gone and highlight only a true degenerate would bet. But then
Yeah, but
number
this is the
6,
Degenerate Olympics.
now we have roulette here, and you could bet
Roulette.
roulette. I
Right,
do
roulette.
like just
Roulette.
sometimes running my silly numbers. And
I don't know if we can count this, but this fascinated me, and I immediately sent the panoramic video to my grandchildren because they're big. Like when we go to a Bonefish Max,
Yeah,
they love that
the
little game
arcade,
room they
yeah,
have.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're teaching them early. Yeah.
Well,
that's
you're
great.
going to blow like $60 while they're playing Skill Crane all in once. It's like you got to be Money Mayweather walking into a strip club. They had an arcade at Harrah's in Atlantic City that was like Skill Crane for degenerate kids, where they were literally you were having to pull a bowling ball out of the bottom or like a giant bear
good.
like you'd see at a carnival, and you had to literally put a stick in like $100 bill into this Skill Crane machine. And they had like about 50 of them in this room, and the kids were banging the door down to get in
The
there.
cranes are the biggest rip.
$3 Skill Crane.
No,
$3
I wouldn't
Skill
do
Crane.
that.
And whatever you win,
I'll
you're going
never-
to spend more than you're going to win.
I'll never forget. I did, used to take my daughter when she was much younger to Chuck E. Cheese on
God.
some mornings on the weekends.
There was another place.
That I had her, and I'll never forget one time. I forget what it was, but it was like one of these pseudo slot machines, and she hit like for whatever the biggest jackpot was. It pumped out like 1,000 tickets.
Oh, nice.
And all the bells and the
Everyone's
whistles are going off, and
excited.
I started just filming it on my phone, and my daughter was like doing a little happy dance and got all these things, and we ended up getting some meaningless trinket at the end.
You
exactly.
get
And
one
I
of those
thought-
things where you stick your 2 fingers in and you can't pull them out,
Yeah,
like
the
it's south of the
Chinese,
border. Chinese handcuffs.
Chinese handcuffs.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was going to hook my daughter on gambling for life. But instead, no, she's turned out the opposite of me. I think her mom rubbed off on her and extolled in her early on the evils of gambling. And instead, she just goes shopping.
Yeah, there
And
you
she's a shopaholic, which is terrible because you can never end up ahead at the
Can't
end of the
win.
day.
Yeah.
It's not like gambling where sometimes you do end up to the good. And but that's okay. I thought that one Chuck E. Cheese experience would hook
you
her
were
for
hoping.
life.
Oh, God.
The way I got
Be
hooked,
happy.
my first trip to Aqueduct Racetrack when I was, I think it was 12 or 13 years old. I went with my older brother, Burl, who works here at the racetrack now, and his high school buddies. We ended up, I brought $20 to the track. I hit a couple exactas. Next thing you know, I'm coming home with $140, and now a lifetime of
Yeah, it's
woe and
easy.
struggles later.
Exactly.
I wish I'd never won that first day. But anyway, to wrap it up, number 7 on my list of the degenerate septathlon. This is a Ken favorite, the sports parlays, which is now
the gambling,
becoming
sports wagering. Yeah.
sports wagering, but not just wagering,
Oh,
not
the
just the
parlays.
simple doing the stupid $5 part, 20 team parlay.
Yeah.
Where you hear all the sob stories of like, oh, if only the Mets held on in the right thing, I would have won $10,000. Doesn't happen that way. All right. Well, there you have it. I don't know. I think, have you put together a degenerate Olympics at one point? You said,
What we used to do back in the day, my buddy and I, we were covering horse racing here and at Tampa Bay Downs. And we would start out in Tampa and we would try to hit the what we called the hectofecta. And that was to visit 5 parimutuel facilities in the same day. So we'd start out in Tampa. We'd race down here, catch an afternoon highlight matinee session, come over to Gulfstream, bet a couple of races. So that was 3. And then we'd end up at the dog track in Miami highlight later on. So, you're trying to hit as many parimutuels
That's
as we could
impressive.
in the same day.
Sure, we'll use that word.
Yeah.
I would say
It
scary.
was a hectofecta.
I had one of those stories that actually got me my start in sports journalism when I was a freshman at Tufts University, and I was home on a Thanksgiving break. But I later wrote a story about it that the sports editor at the Tufts Observer loved because it was involving me and my buddy Brian Kaplan. We went to the harness track at Roosevelt Raceway, right?
Oh, yeah, we had to include Pompano Park back then, too.
Pompano
Oh
Yeah.
Park.
yeah, you made them well. But this was just a double. It wasn't nearly as sick
That's
as yours.
impressive.
But what happened was we were at Roosevelt Raceway, but I was looking at my New York Post and I saw the entries, the Meadowlands, later on that night when the Meadowlands were running thoroughbreds, that there was a horse named Tufts, and that was the name of my college.
College.
So I said to my friend Caster, I said, we got to go over to
That's a
Meadowlands.
hunch, yeah.
I got to plunge just on
Oh,
a hunch bet.
they don't have simulcast.
No, back in the day, there was no
Yeah.
simulcasting. You had to be physically present. So we scooted across the whatever it was, the LIE, across one of the Triborough Bridge, and went across the GW Bridge. We made it to the Meadowlands with 10 minutes to spare for the race where Tufts is running. I put, I don't know what it was, 20 across the board, which at the time was a lot for me. And of course, Tufts ended up finishing 4th.
Yeah,
I wrote
Here's
about
nothing up
this
the
whole
rails.
saga, But my kicker line, which the editor loved and proclaimed it like the line of the week, was "Don't depend on Tufts for financial aid."
Makes some sense, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. My college was not giving me a lot of money.
Lubie knows my first experience with gambling. I was at Roosevelt Raceway. We borrowed my friend's mother's car to go there. He had a license. We take her brand new Chevy Impala to the track. We go there and we hit the last race for about $45, three-way split, 15 apiece. It was big money back then.
Yep.
This is like 1969 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come out to the parking lot, the guy's car was on fire and literally destroyed. I mean, completely destroyed because the guy that I had brought, who naturally I got the blame for this, was a degenerate to the point where he was smoking cigarettes in the back.
In the car.
And unfortunately, an ash must have stayed in there, and the entire car was in flames when we got out of there.
Now, did he have good insurance? Because for me, that could turn into a profitable venture.
I don't think these guys were cashing like you are on this flood insurance.
No, this one I didn't make out so good on. It's actually turned out to be a very much of a pain in the tuchus.
It should have been a sign, though. I mean, Lubie and I always talk about the signs from the gods of gambling. If there was ever a sign, like you won a marginal amount of money, and then my best friend's parents hated me forever after that. I had nothing really to do with it except I invited this other guy to go. I don't know he smoked cigarettes. None of us did. We were jocks. What the hell do we know about smoking?
Throw them out the window. Yeah. I mean, you don't keep them in the carpet.
Yeah, that's why would you?
I must have had like an ash blown back in. It had to be just a bizarre stroke of bad luck. But that should have told you right away. Don't gamble ever again. And if I had done so, I'd be much better off, no doubt.
Sounds like one of
would have had less fun though. But
I was gonna say I don't know where you'd be though. Who knows what the fate be?
Sounds like somebody like at Tyreek Hill's houses.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how that ends up in flames.
Well,
but
that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other story. Hey, speaking of Dolphins, aren't they playing tonight?
They play tonight.
Does anybody care?
I don't know.
Preseason's changed.
So weird.
Yeah. What do you think, Lubie?
There's less games, so they should be more important, but it doesn't seem to be that. Like
is Tua actually going to take any snaps tonight?
In this game, I don't know.
Series,
Josh Allen's supposed to play a whole quarter, so I don't see why Tua wouldn't play a series or two. Like, I mean, again, the third game, you're not going to want him to play at all. So, and the second game, they'll play at least a whole half. So you don't want to get him out there, I would think. I don't know. I don't know what to do with the preseason. Like last night's game was a disaster.
I don't want to give any Kinaharas, like they say in Yiddish, but wouldn't it be funny? Not funny.
No, it would be
if the man just
hurt.
gets his $200 million contract and like hurt. Totally blows out his knee.
It happened to Daniel Jones.
It did.
With the Giants.
Yep.
He got and that was a questionable $160 million that he got, and the next thing you know, he didn't play.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, look at that. I mean, not even a rookie.
Well, that was, but that's, you take your chances on a 39-year-old. How old is the guy now?
He will be 40.
He's going to be 40.
He's going to be 40. He's doing all kinds of drugs and hallucinogens. He goes on rants that reminds me of certain presidential candidates, and everybody in New York is delusional. They think he's going to lead them to the Super Bowl. God, I can't wait to see them lose their first four games. It's going to be
We'll see if he stays healthy. That's sort of the thing.
No, they're all over Rodgers in the who's hot, who's not column, which Lubie loves about the training camp. You must have had the.
I had to do that.
Oh my God!
Did you do that? I mean, what the?
You even talked about you training because I talked with Segredo about it Wednesday because he did it. I know Defo did it for years. I think I'd only had to do it a handful of years because early on, before we were full on sports, when I was doing stuff with IOD, they would send me, and then when we were doing our show. For the first few years they sent us, and it was I've been to multiple deserts across the world, from the west coast of the United States to Israel to Morocco. I've never been as hot as when you're on the field and there's 8 people, Barry Jackson and Scope, I think, was doing the Dolphins at that time, and you're trying to ask a question of Ryan Tannehill, and the sweat's coming down, everyone's sweating.
I covered him back when it was a kinder, gentler training camp back in the St. Thomas University days of Shula, Marino, and the Marks brothers. And usually the Marks brothers wouldn't even show up until like the last week of camp because Clayton just
even with Shula?
I know Clayton first made the team, as a late draft pick.
That's what Tony was
made
saying.
his mark in training camp. But as he became an established star, all pro, he freaking hated it. And he would always hold out, even when he didn't have a contract year. He just would say, I'm not coming. And Shula would get furious.
I was going to say Shula.
And, he'd show up 15 pounds overweight. He would take off the weight in the last week. But it was back, when in St. Thomas, you could attest. You remember those days. It was like a schlocky little motel rooms where we were all set up.
Very ugly.
This, dormitory cafeteria where Shula would sit down and, convene with the press over his chicken noodle soup every day. He's a guy who ate soup in the middle of the summertime with his floppy fishing hat. But when the players broke, for their first, they had 2-a-days back then, and not like Tua Tagovailoa, but 2 practices a day.
They might have gone 3 times a day.
They had sickness.
Segredo said they were doing 3-a-days.
At one, I think when I joined them, it kind of came into it was more of the modern age.
Now they're crocheting.
They let him go.
There's a guy
indoors.
on the phone to his agent saying, "Hey, this is against the union rules."
They have people with the big palm leaves, blowing.
Well,
them
that's
down.
the interesting thing about starters playing in the 3 preseason games now, and it's going to be down to 2, I think, maybe in the next year or 2.
Probably.
But last year you saw most starters didn't play at all. Now this year you're seeing some of the games tonight, like the Browns are going to play their starters in the including Caleb Williams in
the Bears,
the opening game.
Williams.
Bears, yeah.
Meanwhile,
Bears.
did I hear that Ken, the professor who couldn't join us today, but he actually bet last night on some
I
of these
let
games?
him
What's
skate
his
by.
problem?
He doesn't have a problem.
I think he does.
I mean,
1-888
we all have
admitted.
a problem.
Yes,
That's clear. But
major.
Don't be so judgmental, man. I
he-
mean, the guy likes
I'm
to
not
sit in
judging.
and-
I'm just stating
well,
facts.
we're the first ones to say betting on preseason means you have a
You
problem.
gotta be
Then we will
insane.
then go and bet on the preseason. Obviously, like, have you met
I
us?
like the 2 unders last night.
Yeah, exactly. You met
I
us?
really did. Yeah,
Hypocrisy. Hello.
I didn't
I
bet
like
it.
the 8 in the first race. And
Contradiction.
Did I bet that? Ugh.
Welcome. I didn't give him crap this morning about it, but since you bring it up, so not only the 2 things you brought up today, actually, something he's given Defo Guff about 4 years, and rightfully so, because he would give Defo 3 different winners that he wanted Defo to bet separately. Defo would talk to Francesco or someone, pull a 4th game out of his rear, parlay them together because he was getting great odds, and of course, one of the games falls because that's the problem with parlays.
Yeah.
Ken, who is vehemently against these things, saw France. He did the real modern
that's right.
day.
He
He
parlayed.
cross-sported, which is really reaching to me. France, Germany had France, and they did cover, but it got close late, and they almost lost that game. And the Carolina Panthers to win last night, and
He
he
did
parlayed
cross-pollination
them.
between Olympics and NFL football. I
NFL
think Governor
preseason.
DeSantis has a law against that. It's kind of like a trans thing. You just can't parlay Olympics and NFL
He
preseason.
said as we were leaving Lubbers and the game was just starting, he's like, yeah, that was probably the dumbest thing. He's like, I should have just gone France. Yes, your own advice.
He is adamantly opposed to the parlay.
You know what you're doing when you go against one of your cardinal
Your own
rules.
credos,
Yeah.
Of course, you do it all the time. What are you talking about?
Like I always say, I'd never go bust on the hand right before a break in a
And you do
poker
all the
tournament. I
time.
do it all the time. You end up getting jacks, you get it all in. That goes with the ace 5.
See, your
hits the
boy
ace-
Seidel was in town.
well, he's one of the all-time greats, Eric Seidel.
Eric
a lot
Seidel.
of a lot of the big pros are in because they're doing their main event starting
Oh,
actually
nice.
today.
Just hard rock.
5,300, and my boy Willie Wiggins satellited his way in, I believe. So he's going to be taking a shot at the 2 million guarantee or 3 million guarantee. They usually smash it. It's a $5,300 buy-in, but they have these satellites for $600, where some of the regular local players get in for just 600. And yeah, that's going to be running this weekend at Hard Rock. But I'm stoked. It's time for our first break, and
Yeah,
before
let's
we
get
get
going.
there,
Does this say
tomorrow,
it's all set, this thing?
Yes.
rain or shine.
How come I'm having
21
trouble downloading my tickets?
Okay, so I don't have tickets. Am I supposed to have tickets?
If you look in your
I
email
got
address,
an email, and I downloaded the tickets.
take the
but
hint, boys. No,
No, I received nothing, though.
you didn't
Once
receive
I-
anything in the mail.
No.
Nothing. no.
Check your emails.
I have gotten nothing.
No,
I'm not
I
mad.
received an
Defo got
email.
something.
Right,
I haven't
and
had.
then you
I
supposed
downloaded the tickets. Get your tickets.
right, and then
But no tickets showed up. Where are
well,
they?
if you either need to have the Eventbrite app, and if not, the
Oh.
way I got, you just click on the box and it brings up the tickets. You don't even have to print them, and you just show them at the door. Believe me, I'll vouch for you.
I mean,
guys.
we'll figure it out. I'm not worried about getting. into the
I
Brad's
don't want to
thing,
get there and have to find you. You
I
know,
agree
you'll be
with you,
slurping.
folks.
You don't
down
need
all
to
this.
find me. You know people. You knew Brad. You know
We'll be
Dave.
fine, but
You know Phil.
You know how the security is at Lauderdale by the Sea.
Very
They're very
tight.
serious.
Very
All right,
tight
tomorrow
You can't even
afternoon.
park on the paint. Don't
So-
park on the
Yeah,
paint on the lines. In the
We're
parking
down
lot.
to a handful of tickets. The
Nice.
VIPs are sold out. We've got a couple, probably about 10 or so general admission
Jay.
tickets left. Again, the Phil and the Visit Lauderdale Food Festival people, they love to have a right-sized event, so it's not going to be overly crowded. Everybody's going to get plenty of oysters, plenty of bubbly. But if you want in on it, tomorrow afternoon, 1 to 4 p.m., and the weather's looking good. It says partly cloudy,
which
some
is what we
sun,
want.
It's gonna be fine.
hopefully no
We want
rain.
no rain, but we don't
But we
want.
do have
150
tents.
degrees
We
either.
have the indoor areas, and we're going to have a great time. Get your tickets right now online at oysterpearljam.eventbrite.com, and those final tickets for general admission are available. Now, ticket sales will be shut off at midnight tonight. If there are any left, then we will be selling them at the door, but at a premium. It's going to be $75 instead of $65 because you got to get rewarded for getting your tickets in advance.
Yes.
And that's what we try to do. So go there. It's going to be a lot of fun. 21 and over. I'm not letting my daughter use her fake ID. She's been ruled off. And we're going to have a grand old time. Music, the Bellini bar, known as the Vitology bar, food, drink, fun, camaraderie, and an oyster eating contest with some special selected guests. Excited. It's going to be fun. I'm preparing the it's going to be a combination of a necklace and kind of a trophy thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And come on,
should be a pearl necklace, no?
Well, I've got those.
That was the joke.
Yes, I've got those. I also got something else that I thought I was going to be able to put onto a necklace, but it's way too heavy. It actually is a classy looking thing, and I'm going to engrave it, and it's going to go to the oyster eating champion. 60 oysters in 5 minutes. Whoever finishes first. Tom T will be part of it. Josie Smith Malay from Pearls. Julie Guy, great radio DJ, will be out there. OJ McDuffie doesn't want to take part, but it's all
Joe
good.
B, man.
Hey, let's take that first break. Joe B will sit down and talk about some of the exciting goings on here at Gulfstream Park after these words. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo the Lunchbox sent you. We are back on the Lunchbox, and look who's joining us, Joe Beja, Executive Director of Hospitality here at Gulfstream Park, Ten Palms. Joe, I missed you last week. I was in Tallahassee, and you were in a meeting. Huh?
Yes, I was in a meeting.
I hope everything is going fine here, and we are happy to see you. Before we get in on some of the new menu items and some of the happenings, I just have to thank you. As a FSU dad, you gave me the intel on the best breakfast place in town, and I went with my daughter after summer school ended last Saturday to the Bada Bean.
Yes.
In Tallahassee, and it was quite excellent. I love the vibe in there. Little mom and pop place, good coffee selection. And I know you recommended the skillets. I ended up going the weekend only special. They make crab cakes, like a crab cake Benedict.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was very, very good. Good holidays and all that stuff.
And the baked goods are great too. If you grab some to go, I know that the cinnamon rolls are like the size of my head.
Okay.
They're huge. So giant muffins and so forth. But great little spot.
Good tip for those who ever make their ways up to Tallahassee. Lubie, you ever
Yeah.
going to get back there?
I want to go so bad. I haven't been since I've been with my wife because
Couple of good games this
I got used
year.
to crashing on people's homes. Like I still actually have a couple friends that built their lives there. Actually,
Go to Julian Siegel. He has his little trailer
well, that's the thing.
behind
Is the
it,
problem is my wife won't do that. So getting hotels on game day, game weekends, or other, like I've tried to do it 2 years in advance.
It's fine if you stay in
and
Pensacola.
exactly. You have to stay.
Exactly.
No, great. You have to stay in Perry.
Yeah.
Perry is like 30 minutes away.
Yep.
But 30 minutes. It's funny. Driving 30 minutes here is not a big deal, right? When you're in Tallahassee, you don't want to drive more than like 10, 15 minutes.
It's
That's
a good
how
home
it is.
slate
Like,
this year. They've got
I want to go. They have
Clemson at home. They've got on Thanksgiving weekend. They've got
Gators.
Florida
I know.
Gators at home. So
if you guys are making your way up there, I may find a way to get up there and Airbnb it or something.
and is your daughter back yet from Italy or
Monday?
Monday. Okay.
Oh, wow.
She
She'll
had
be
to
back
get
Monday. She finished studying abroad on the 1st, and then her mother went to pick her up, and they're doing a cruise around.
Nice.
Okay, you did the
Mediterranean.
front end before dropping her off.
Exactly, and then
The
her mom got the back end, and they're flying back. They'll be back in town on Monday.
Excellent.
Amazing.
And then she moves. We go up on the 19th, and she moves into her apartment on the 20th.
Right, and they start fall semester at the 26th.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I will not be going because we did the same thing. Her mom is going to be
Yep.
taking her up this time,
Yep.
driving back with her car, and I'm off the hook, so I'll be here for Travers weekend. That'll be fun.
Yeah, this is great. And this is going to be different for me too, because I'll be driving her up and then leaving the car with her
Mhm.
and flying back on JetBlue. So
That's it. You guys fly JetBlue while you can because they're discontinuing that route
October.
October
I saw that.
26th. It's very,
Yeah.
very dismaying because now we're stuck with Silver Airways,
Oh,
Jesus.
which I understand.
or Delta, but I think you have to go to Atlanta to
yeah,
Delta. And then
everything
it's like
else
connected. It's not even a direct.
is one stops. The only nonstop from Fort Lauderdale remaining after October 26th will be Silver Airways, which I understand would not get the silver or gold or even bronze for
No.
on-time departures.
No, last time I flew them, they had the guy out there with the propeller. You know, he pulled it down. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The Wright brothers.
No. But I'm hearing nothing but horror stories. It makes me want to maybe just start
You just
driving back and
drive.
forth
You
because
drive.
I've gotten used to it, Lubie. You're right.
Look,
it's
if
not that
I'll
bad.
drive with you.
It wasn't that bad.
We just
coming
need to
back,
have
'cause
an Airbnb, and then my wife will come. My problem is, and to go on, it's so funny because you're looking at a game when they are away. Tallahassee, the hotels are like $60 a night.
Oh, I know.
The next weekend it's $650. It's like no, it's not the Ritz. Like
No, it's a DoubleTree.
no, it's
The-
Holiday.
or the
Fucking forget the
or the hotel-
DoubleTree. It's
the ho-
Holiday Inn.
Yeah, the Hotel Indigo is like $700. I mean, I know they got a view of the stadium,
Yeah,
but
there's-
even the Hotel Indigo.
Oh, Indigo. That's our
700.
man Tim Petrillo's, right? I
Oh,
think
really
they-
is?
Yeah,
Oh, you
that
talk
is
to
the
Tim.
restaurant people.
Yeah.
I know a guy, but I
See
don't
if we
know
can
even
set stuff
for
up.
his big money-making weekends. I don't think he's even going to cut me a break.
No.
But
We'll get back
it's
to
incredible the development that's taking place all
Yeah.
around that stadium. But
Yeah.
anyway, also incredible developments here.
Developments here.
You and new chef Jason, some of these dishes. Tell us about
Yeah.
this chicken Milanese. Is crunchy,
Fantastic.
crispy, and perfectly cooked. Angel hair on the side. I got capers. I got looks like a little kind of a like
And
the
the sun-dried
sun-dried
tomato.
tomatoes and the
Which I love
arugula and little lemon slices on it. It's like I feel like I'm at a spa. I could put them on my eyes.
So this is a joint effort between Chef Jason and Chef Juan, our executive sous chef, and we decided to do a Milanese for the summertime and go a little less heavier than the old Parmesan.
Parm, right?
And we also changed the parm was a chicken breast, and these are chicken thighs.
Very tasty. I
So
noticed
juicier,
that. Yeah.
great flavor.
Right. It could stand the frying. It doesn't dry out.
Exactly.
And crispy on the outside, still nice and tender and moist on the inside.
Yes.
I'm going to go a little ASMR here.
Just happy to see you use a fork.
John knows you so well.
And I didn't do it all in one bite. I'm definitely
That's an improvement.
definitely trying to restrain myself. So what else is going on? I understand you do have a little happening tomorrow.
So tomorrow we're doing our second fan appreciation day. So for those of you that have players rewards cards,
Oh,
and
nice.
even the regular fan as well can take advantage of some of the deals. But we'll be doing $3 beers and $2 hot dogs and $2 pretzels, etc. So that'll be going on. And then last
That's
week,
on the bottom floor. The
Bottom
ground
floor.
Yep.
ground floor breezeway bar. We have
Nice.
specific locations. There'll be the hot dog cart, and that'll be right next to the breezeway. So those are specific locations. It's not the entire track. So, if you want your $3 beer, it'd be at the breezeway bar, and I believe it's from noon to 3. So we got it for 3 hours. Get here early, and then an incentive here to get here early as well. So first race will be about $12.50. So you'll have the opportunity for the discounted beers and hot dogs and pretzels. And then another feature that we'll be doing tomorrow is something we were supposed to do on the 3rd, and we just pushed it back for the storm. Is we're doing Trackside Treats,
Oh,
which
wow.
is a series of local ice cream shops
Ice
that are
cream.
participating.
I love it.
So hopefully the weather will cooperate. Tomorrow, some of the ice cream will have alcohol, like
Nice.
Coors
Those are
with
the
us.
best.
Boozy ice cream.
Boozy ice cream.
And
Great.
then
all good.
I took advantage of reaching out to my friend Susie Battle over at Azucar Ice Cream down
Nice.
from Cayocho.
Nice.
And we purchased some. We're doing a partnership with them where we purchased
Nice.
some of her
And they're
signature
gonna be
flavors. And
part of next week's Havana Nights.
Oh,
Correct.
really?
yes. So what we did
Nice.
is for tomorrow for the trackside treats, I went a little more mainstream. Basic cookies and cream and vanilla and chocolate and
Good for you.
strawberry and so forth. But then for the Cuban event, we're doing what they have is they have the Abuela Maria, which is their signature flavor with the guava and the cream cheese and vanilla
Oh my
ice cream
God.
flavor.
Mm.
And then we also did what they call
Those are the
the
leche?
cafe con leche.
Oh, cafe con leche.
Cafe con leche,
Ice
which is
cream.
coffee ice cream with Oreo.
Ooh.
My favorite one
He's
that's
happy. Are you
my-
coming to that?
Yes. My
Okay.
wife won't
Yeah.
be here, but I'll be here.
And-
Oh, well, I'll
and
be
I am,
here too.
That's
and we'll
fine
come
with me.
with
I'm not
Val.
missing that. Are you kidding me?
And I know you gave me the menu last time I was here, and it
I'll
looks
read it off.
fantastic.
I was like
I
getting
just wanna say
teary-eyed when
This
we were
is
talking about
next
it.
Saturday, the 17th.
I just have to plug one thing for my
Yeah,
favorite
course.
ice cream from hers. I'm a peanut butter lover.
Oh, I love it. Okay,
And
but here's
she
my
make-
thing.
Yes.
Peanut butter ice cream so often, and I love peanut butter, can be too much.
So
peanut butter. That's
what
my
she
only problem
does
with
is
it.
she has Almani Loco, which is the crazy peanut in
Nice.
Spanish.
Oh, that's cool.
Vanilla ice cream,
Okay.
Crazy.
peanut butter swirls,
Okay.
peanut butter cups,
Oh, Jesus.
Reese's Pieces, and Nutter Butter cookies.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
This is going to be there?
Yes.
Oh, I'm giddy.
So that'll
I
be at
love
the
it.
that'll be at our Havana event. So again, if you go on our website www.gulfstreampark.com and click on the events page, it'll take you to our Taste of Havana. So traditionally, we have our Taste of the Track events, like the last one that we did for tacos and tequila. This time around, we're doing a partnership with Bacardi, so we're featuring all of Bacardi's rums,
Nice.
even Santa Teresa from Venezuela, which is a fantastic rum.
Nice.
But we're going to use it in a Cuban drink. So we're gonna have about 8 different rums, 8 different cocktails from the Bacardi portfolio,
Nice.
and then we'll be doing all the food, Cuban-inspired food. So we'll have, enchilada de camarones. So we have shrimp.
Nice.
There'll be the Cuban sandwiches. We'll have frittores de malanga with sriracha mayo.
Oof.
There'll be croquetas with jamon.
Gotta have
Nice.
the croquetas.
Yes. Pan con lechon. Sorry, pan con
Lechon.
lechon.
Lechon
We have
sandwiches.
the
Nice.
chicharron de pollo, yuca
Chicharron.
fries.
Ooh.
We're gonna do a frita cubana, so a version of a frita.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
man, those
that's
are
the burger?
fire.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then the picadillo habanero,
Oh,
and then we have
picadillo.
tostones, and table 5 will be a vaca frita quesadilla
Ooh,
station.
ooh.
Vaca frita. Okay.
Vaca frita
And
quesadilla.
the main attraction on the main buffet in the middle there, last time where we did
a
our
pig?
walking taco, will be a whole pig.
A whole pig.
Oh, you
So
what?
that'll be a whole lechon asado with onion mojo and a maduros and
Oh,
a
my
Cuban
God.
potato
Shirley's
salad
gonna be
and
so
con
mad.
gris.
This is
It's
like her
going
favorite
Holy's.
food on the planet.
Hog
we're-
wild.
we're kinda
Hog
calling
wild
that-
for Havana Nights.
Yes, we're kind of calling that backyard Cuban, I guess, for lack of a better
are you
term,
gonna
but
have-
it's really going to be done like that type of decor.
You've
Whole
had-
pig.
Between both the live band, which was great, and then you also have the DJ, and she did a really good job.
Yes,
I could see that going either way.
live band.
Oh, the live band was
We
so
have,
fun. I didn't
we
want to cast aspersions at the DJ.
so-
She did a great job, but the live band was so on it. Oh
Yeah.
my God. And people got up and started dancing.
So-
Like, it was freaking cool.
Yeah, they're great. They're a Latin band that we bring in for tacos and tequila. They have I don't know if it's 4-piece or 5-piece Cuban band
They're like great.
that will be here for this event.
That's
cool,
next
cool.
Saturday. Get your tickets now. You got
Yeah.
the VIP passes for that first hour, and you get the premium seating and some also premium sips of the
Correct.
rums. Definitely worth the a little bit more that you have to pay for the VIP because you definitely get your money's worth for that first hour. So come check it out. You're gonna cap it also like 300,
Yeah.
the taco event.
Yep, we probably will cap it around 300. I think it's a quick turnaround from tacos and tequila, so we're looking for more people to come out. I think we'll probably do somewhere around 250 to 300.
Nice.
But we'll
Again, there'll
cap it
be
at
live racing here that day. There'll be racing from Saratoga and then
Correct.
Del Mar later on in the day. So the full slate of summer racing is going to be great.
Oh,
Hey, let's take
We
one
have a
more break.
contest, by the way.
I know.
We're gonna
I
start
was
the
going to get
contest.
to it, but we'll do it in the next. You want to stick around
Sure.
for the contest? All right. We'll
Absolutely.
be back with Joe Beja and more on the Lunchbox after these words. A little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We are back here at 10 Palms Gulfstream Park with Joe Beja, Executive Director of Hospitality, and does a fine job here at Gulfstream Park. Before we get into some more of the happenings here and some of the new food, I mean, they're really raising the bar here. The new chef, Jason, little touches, all good. And talking about elevating the game, I mean, when you're talking about Italian food in South Florida, nothing beats Casa D'Angelo.
Oh, yeah, that's
Our friend
fantastic.
Angelo Elia is just stands for nothing but the best, finest ingredients, best service. Oh, that wine room at the Fort Lauderdale flagship location, 18,000 bottles, I
That's
think
crazy.
he has there, Joe. And it is unbelievable selection. Italian wines, California reds, whatever you want, he's got it. And you should go in there this weekend because, you know, it's not season. It gets crazy during the season at all three locations. This is the time of the year you go in there and it's mellow, and they will pay great attention to you. And the specials they have at all three locations, Boca with Chef Ricky, boy, did he have we had a great time. He made us some beautiful
Why,
dishes.
like they not only have the standbys like they do here actually as well, but they have great specials, and they are big with the specials. And you guys are really cool with that, with the fish,
freshest fish. Yeah, they always do something a little
I like that. They
fancy with
switch
the
it up a little
pasta.
bit. They put you in the chef's hands. Like I think that's cool.
It's a great place. I'm so proud that they want to associate with somebody like me. But Angelo and I, we've gone back a long way. And again, it's hard to believe that the flagship has been there in Fort Lauderdale Federal Highway for 25 years, since 1998, 99, over 25 years.
Amazing.
And of course, they got the one right here in Aventura. If you get a big day at the track, go right down there to Aventura and celebrate. It's a fantastic place. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, Joe. Yeah, you mentioned it. So you're doing some more things. You got the house-made meatballs now. You've got these
The wings are
now
totally done differently, which
and
is
some
great.
other things coming, right?
Yeah.
You got
We do.
yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, mentioned, we are doing the meatballs in house now as well. The jumbo wings are now jumbo. They're not. Yeah, a lot of times nowadays when you go out for wings, they're really kind of small, quite honestly. So we have our jumbo wings that we're buying, obviously raw, and we're brining them for 24 hours. We have a special seasoning that we've added to them. So the baking and then the deep frying. So it's been giving it a really nice crispier, and it contains the juices, and you're really getting a little more meat on each of the wings.
And
so
I gotta like a
great
chef
flavor.
who cares about all the little touches,
yeah,
because
big on
that's
that.
really what kind of makes
yeah,
a
I mean,
place.
we just did a burger tasting as well, blind tasting and burger blends, and we actually, believe it or not,
Are you doing the Pat LaFrida?
we're doing Pat LaFreda now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that was the
great.
one that won. We did it blind, and
Yeah,
it won. It
yeah.
was great. So Pat
Nothing
LaFreda
like
burger
a blind
blend.
tasting, because
It was a big
the
fan.
results don't lie.
Yeah,
We
we
did
didn't want to
that
get jaded by the name, and it turned out it was the best blend. So
That's
It's
good.
good.
That is good. Nothing but raising the stakes here, so to speak, at Gulfstream. And speaking of stakes races,
Already done
it's
our
time for the contest. Joe, you haven't been around when I actually
I
announced the
know.
contest in
Shebang.
a while. And it's okay. Well, let's get to it. The Lunchbox Gulfstream 10 Palms Sunday Brunch Giveaway. All you got to do is email the answer to this week's restaurant trivia questions along with the horse selection for this week's Gulfstream contest race. That's going to be race number 10. It's a stakes race, and it's numbers 1 through 8. And the tiebreaker, which is going to be an Olympics tiebreaker, the USA versus France men's basketball gold medal game tomorrow.
On Saturday as well, yeah.
Yeah. So both components will be taking place tomorrow. And you're going to email all 3 components to mikemayoeats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow, Saturday, August 10th. And again, the contest race is the 10th race, numbers 1 through 8, the $95,000 Proud Man Stakes for 2-year-olds, scheduled for 6 furlongs on the main track. Post time approximately 5:52 p.m. Basketball game between France and USA goes at 3:30 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So they'll be ending at approximately the same time as the race. And you give me the winner and the final point margin in the gold medal game, like USA by 21 points. We'll see if they wake up after that scare against Serbia.
I know.
And again, if multiple entrants have all 3 elements right, we'll do the tiebreaker drawing on the next live Lunchbox show, which will be Monday, coming from the best ice cream in the Sun Sentinel competition.
Oh, yeah.
winner.
We're going to Lily's.
We're going to Lily's
Nice.
Handmade Ice Cream up in Delray Beach.
Huh.
Really nice family, the Galinsky family. Looking forward to sitting
Yeah, I'm
down and
stoked.
getting to know them. That'll be Monday's Lunchbox. All right, here we go. And if you win, brunch for 2, brunch buffet,
On this
including a
gentleman right
mimosa, thanks to the generosity of Gulfstream and the crew here, Joe at 10 Palms. All right, for this week's restaurant, we celebrate, or is that mourn, back to school day for both Broward and Palm Beach public schools,
Next
which is
week, right?
this upcoming Monday. Can you
Yeah,
believe that?
yeah.
That's inhumane. Sending kids back
Yeah,
to
it's like
school
super
on
early.
August 12th. We're
Jeez.
New Yorker. If you tried to put me in a classroom before
Like Devo said,
Labor Day.
yeah.
I would just boycott. I just wouldn't go. But that's not the way it works here in Florida for reasons unbeknownst to
I
me.
don't know
But
what's going on.
we're going to be celebrating back to school day with an aptly named eatery. Clue number 1.
Okay.
The name of this fast casual sandwich joint on North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale may trigger memories of school cafeterias, but the trays here are loaded with offerings that are decidedly better than the sloppy joes of elementary and junior high. Anybody have any clue what I'm talking
Show
about?
me. I have no clue.
Okay. Again, the name of this fast casual eatery will trigger memories of school cafeterias. Number 2, the eatery is operated by the Be Nice Restaurant Group. Elliot Wolf, we love Elliot.
Yeah, I like Elliot. I don't know.
And there used to be 2 of them in Fort Lauderdale, but the southern location in the Corvova
Yeah.
shops closed a while back. It was facing opposite of our friends at Gilbert's.
Okay.
But again, there used to be 2. Now there's only 1 on North Federal. And among the offerings are a breakfast burrito, a short rib birria melt, and tater tots or buffalo cauliflower as side dishes.
Interesting.
Good luck, happy weekend, and remember to bring your sharpened number 2 pencils on Monday.
And a Scantron.
They still use that.
And remember those?
Yes.
Oh my God. I think they conducted the 2000 election with those.
Yeah,
That worked out
Yeah,
for
exactly.
everybody.
Uh,
Do we got one more break?
We do.
Let's do it. We're going to let Joe cut him loose. But thank you for everything as usual.
Pleasure.
Delicious new dishes
Remember,
here.
next Saturday. It's next Saturday, right?
Next Saturday, the 17th.
Havana Nights.
Havana Nights.
Yes.
During the
It's gonna be a
daytime.
freaking blast.
Right.
Havana Nights at the daytime. If you see Fredo Corleone, tell him don't betray the family.
Keep going.
There you go.
All right, we'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox after these words. One of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back.
We are.
And boy, time flies when you're having fun or when you're losing money. Did you hit anything there in the second
No,
race?
so far some tough luck, but no serious damage yet. But we'll see.
You know what I've learned in my older age, that there are some days like when it gets to be like a washout. There's no racing at Saratoga. There's no racing at Laurel. They're off the turf here. Just save it for another day.
You're always in with a shot, Mayo. Come on, you're such a pessimist.
Well, and again, once you miss out on a horse, like
you're a lot of fun to go to the track with. Hey, well, why don't you not bet at all? Yeah.
No, well, I wanted to plunge on Emmett, and then I would have had the early double. I don't
You're
know.
still blaming Lubie for this loss in the first race.
Bogus.
Which way you could have gone to the window and bet it.
Is this a real thing? It's like from Shirley Temple at ShirleyTemple.com and claiming to be a government agent, wanting to talk about servicing his loans. And it's like, oh, yeah, they're going to forgive your loan. Yeah, just call them and give them all your information. They'll be very happy.
You know what happened to me recently? And this is strange. And never to respond to anything. But once in a while, you get caught up.
Yeah, you get caught, yep.
Whether it's on social media or, in this case, somebody texts me, and it's a number I don't recognize. And it says, Wendy, how are you? And no, not Wendy. How are you? It just says, "How are you?
Right.
Are you
That's
okay?"
That's a new thing that happens to me all day long.
It happens to me 7 times a day.
It happens to me all day long.
And what are they looking to engage you in some kind of thing and get your information?
Yes, 100%.
It's like, oh, I found you in my contact list, but I don't know who you are. Who
well,
are you?
I actually just sent back, hey, I don't recognize the number. You must have dialed the wrong number, figuring I was being courteous to the texter.
They found the mark.
He's
That's it. They already got all your
And
information.
the next thing you know, I'm being solicited for a date by some German woman from New York who wants me to send a picture of me. She doesn't know what I look like. I'm like, what makes you think I'm not on my deathbed right now, which I was? And so after that, though, I responded, and I realized this is getting out of hand here. I don't want to send any more responses.
Yeah.
I get 3 more of these
I
messages
can't
from
believe
different
you fell
numbers.
for it.
Well, the first time it happened to me, I did respond to because
God, what's wrong with you?
I didn't know
people?
that had never happened to me until the last year or so. The last year or so, this has become like a thing.
Here-
No one had ever texted me that didn't know me.
Sarni responded to all of them, and he lost his house. He had to now move to a new condo. You saw what happened.
I'm sure
It's
that's-
Not
terrible.
surprising with you.
But my rule of thumb is this: I never answer the phone for a number I don't recognize, figuring if it's really important, they'll leave a message.
Yeah.
I never.
But it was a
respond to
courtesy. In other words, somebody thinks that they texted you a message,
Yes.
and or they thought they texted somebody they knew a message, and then they send it 1 digit off. So politely, I would respond and just say, "Hey,
Yes.
you got the wrong number."
They saw him coming.
I've done that before. I don't do it anymore. And the other thing too is I actually have a wife who's very jealous. So this is another move that happens to me all the time. So I don't even respond.
Oh yeah.
They were like, last night was great. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Pardon my French. I know we're here. I'm like, because I would normally respond. I don't know who you are, but
Who
my
is
wife
it?
has told me just responding is bad.
Right.
If you don't know them at all, don't even
They
respond.
can find
Like,
out.
okay,
They can
so I won't
siphon
respond.
all your. If you just respond to them, they have ways to then track you or something. Just
Wow.
hit report junk. Pretend it never
You're
existed.
better than I
I
am.
mean, it could have been an innocent thing where
You're
somebody
better
just,
than I am.
Oh
just
man! I mean, I am a pretty gullible person. They once
I'm very
once
gullible
told
about
me
these
here
things.
that there was a 3-legged horse with a prosthetic leg that was going to run at a Mark Henig's barn.
Oh,
Dave
Jesus.
Joseph and Clark Spencer were pulling the wool over my eyes.
Oh, my God.
But I have even learned now that
Yes,
I've
we all
become a
have.
little bit more, what's the word, credulous or
skeptical.
skeptical.
Probably the word.
I was a reporter. I should have a BS
That's what
detector.
Defo's usually good at it too. We all get. That's my problem. I'm born and raised in South Florida. I'm great at catching someone in front of my face who's a douchebag, but online again they've gotten really good at making it. The email I knew that was rough. You were here, so I asked you, and I'm sorry I didn't know you had a bet to place. But
he wasn't going to bet.
some of the
Yeah.
emails they will use the company's name. They will have your account number. They'll have very specific
But
stuff,
there's
and it's
always
like,
a typo that
Yes,
lets you
100%.
know that they're typing this from either
100%.
Russia or some
Yep.
African nation,
Gulag.
and because they use the British spelling of "do me a favor,"
Yes,
FAVOUR, or they just have some weird typos in there. That's usually an indication. But yeah,
Yes.
these
They've
No,
gotten
I-
very
look,
creative. They've gotten very creative.
I understand, Defo, that they are. You
I-
are a
I
nice
just-
guy.
I thought it was somebody maybe sent a text to a wrong number and was seriously concerned about somebody
Right.
being okay.
They've
And
got me before.
I figured, okay, get this message to the right person. Then they started texting me back like I was looking for a date.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, I know this is BS. But what surprised me was I get 3 more of these. Are you okays from
Yes.
different numbers?
This is a new thing they
And
do.
I was
now.
like,
It's
okay,
called
well,
phishing.
I won't do
But
that again.
I'm
But
always curious how they get the
Called
number.
phishing, and they recognize
if
the
it's
fish.
on like Facebook or something, and you're getting these messages from people you have no idea who they are, that's another thing. That's BS. Or the business. Well, look who died in an accident. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
don't
that's
have
the
to click
worst.
on that.
Don't
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And the other thing now is you get a friend request from somebody that you've been friends with for 10 years.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
already
these,
have an
like,
account.
they
Well,
make-
now you can't
dummy
trust any of them,
pages.
really.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
just yes, always beware of everything. Hey, a couple
That's
more
it?
notes
Wow.
about our sponsors. J&C Oyster, downtown Hollywood, 2035 Harrison Street. All month long, they're celebrating Oyster Month. They're
Nice.
having a special, not just the bar, any seat in the house all night long, Wednesday through Sunday when they're open for dinner, 5 to 10 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. You get a half dozen beautiful, pristine raw oysters on the half shell and a cocktail for $20. That's all month long.
Nice.
Great little thank you and appreciation for those who check out J&C Oyster. We'll be there
Next week.
on Wednesday, I believe, Wednesday afternoon
Next week,
at
yeah.
4
I
p.m.
got a busy day.
And also our friends Batch will be there Wednesday earlier in the day. We're doing a double header. We do some double headers in the summertime because we like to
Yeah.
store up our little acorns, chestnuts like
For days
squirrels
off,
for
You
days
just
off.
like eating twice. Come on, Mike.
I like
Oh,
eating
that's
twice,
good.
but then we can take some Mondays off. We're going to take Labor Day off. We might take another.
What's happening
Monday.
this Monday? What's going on?
This Monday we're going to Lily's Handmade Ice Cream. That's right. You missed when we were on with Joe
Yeah.
Vasha. The ice cream, award-winning ice cream that the Sun Sentinel.
I have a
reviews.
review. Did I tell you about my experience at Wits?
Yes,
You did.
Okay.
You said it was
Yeah.
okay.
You said it was
all right.
solid. You
Yeah,
said
yeah.
it wasn't deserving
But
of
It,
Lily's-
praise.
it did not belong
Or
in the
top
finals.
five.
of the
Sweet
competition.
Aloha and Davy,
That
our
was
friend Jimmy,
fantastic.
that was better than okay.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Kona coffee
Yep.
chip was great.
Well, all the ice cream. Was
And this Monday will be a real treat because we're going to be at Lily's
Lily.
handmade ice cream in
Where's it located?
Delray Beach.
Give me the city name and location.
Delray Beach. It's at the corner of Linton and Military Trail.
Okay.
Dick Steen might come out. He
Oh,
might
that's-
make a
Where-
Delray
he's
appearance.
still all
Using
right.
him in a
He's
while.
still all right.
All
Yeah.
right.
And Lily's great family. And we're going to get their backstory. And they have a couple of great flavors, including one called Dusty Monkey, which is like banana. And you know those like Biscoff cookies? Those they kind of blend that all together. They got some really creative flavors there.
Nice.
I love it. They also have something called like Florida Swamp, which is a lot of chocolatey stuff.
Nice.
So we'll be there on Monday afternoon. And again, get your contest entries in. Mike Mayo's Eats at
Big ice cream
gmail.com.
tour with you, Mike Mayo. What
I
happened
love
there?
my ice
Yeah,
cream.
it's like-
Wow,
it's
you're
Well,
really
it's
doing
ice
summer, I
cream
guess.
month, and since they just got recognized as best ice cream in South Florida by the Sun
sure
Sentinel,
them
and
well.
their
Oh, well worth
contest,
the trip.
I
Yeah.
figure it'd be a good time to get up there. Got an interesting family backstory too. So, and again, get your final tickets for the
Yeah, tomorrow.
Pearl Jam by the Sea. Again, Eventbrite.
How many people are going to be there?
At least
approximately?
90 to
90,
100.
wow.
90 to
Possibly
maybe a
110.
little over 100. So it's
Pay
gonna
your
fun.
meters. Make sure you
Yes,
don't park in
yes.
any weird
Park
fashion.
inside the lines.
Wow.
rain or shine, 21 and above, and we'll see you there tomorrow. We'll be
I'm
there
excited.
bright and early. Starts at 1 p.m. And until then,
Now, what are you going to be doing officially at this thing? You're emceeing.
I'll be emceeing the contest.
Are you going to get up on the stage
I'll
with
be
the band
greeting-
at all?
I'll be greeting people. I won't be singing any karaoke,
Don't sing karaoke.
I think you should try
but
something.
I'll be conducting the oyster eating contest.
I kept picturing you, me, and Lubie in the hurdles when that guy won the 110 hurdles. I was thinking Lubie probably could do it.
No.
I would knock over every
No.
hurdle. I would go under the hurdles.
I was never any good at
I
hurdles.
think I would just go like
believe
forget
it's
about
not
that.
high.
if I could fit.
I'd be doing a Fosbury flop over the first
No
one.
way.
Just to clear that.
Well, enjoy the rest of the Olympics.
Have a great weekend.
Oh, I was
And,
going to tell you about this 3-horse at the boat neck. Look at this.
The
Does
boat
he get-
neck,
does
he's
he make
coming
it?
fast.
No, he doesn't make it. He
It's
doesn't
5. The 3 is coming and
Oh
hanging
my
like the cheap rat.
God.
Oh,
Oh,
second.
he's
Oh,
by
he
a
was just
nose.
short. Got
I'd
second.
say
make it. I
like
knew he was going to run
half
well.
ahead.
You could tell.
Such
the
a
Walmart.
shame. All right, enjoy every sushi, every chicken wing, and enjoy every sandwich.